wrong with it. I don't know if it's overheating or what. But yeah, so I'm gonna make this. I always make my videos long. So so yeah, that was just my thoughts about that. And I'm gonna be, this is my thing, I'm just being very transparent with y'all, especially like with this walk, because it's a walk. But yeah, when she saw her dad, she was just like, oh, cool. I was like, oh, she's so sweet. And then when she saw that video when she was a newborn, it's amazing to see just how time just flies. When she saw that video when she was a newborn, crying, and when her dad started playing that piano, and she stopped crying, her reaction was just priceless, priceless. And again, I just really started thinking, like, he's missing out, and you can't make people be a part of something that's greater than them. It's like, and it's just like, but I can't even go there, because there are plenty of women out here that dealt with the same thing when the father wasn't there, or vice versa when the wife wasn't there. So, it's frustrating. It's really frustrating. It's just frustrating. And I'm just being real. Like, I'm not gonna sit up here and be like, toughen up, girl. So what, your husband left? Look at all the things you got to do. Whoop whoop. There's so many things to do. Yes, there is. There's a lot of things to do, but it's also a sad thing too. It's also sad that she's not knowing her father. Like, I have to whip out pictures so she can see what her father looks like. It's also sad too that he missed out on the crawling and the walking and the running, and he may just miss out on another 7, or he may just miss out on everything. He may not ever be there. It's also sad too that I may have gray hair one day and be 90 years old and realize that in my walk in this life, it stopped with, as far as the intimacy and having a husband, stopped when my husband said, I don't want to do it no more. When my covenant husband said, I want a divorce. And then you cannot commit adultery because you're going to hell. So you dare not even do it while everyone else suck their teeth up at you until they realize, Houston, we got a problem, because y'all not even getting married, because y'all can't seem to find anybody eligible out there, because the majority of these jokers and these women out there, they're married. They're one flesh. So that's why you're dealing with the turmoil that you're dealing with. But nevertheless, like, when I go back, and I'm just being very transparent because these were the things that I was thinking. When I go back to before my daughter was born, I didn't sign up to be a single mother. I don't think any wife signed up to be a single mother, or any husband signed up to be a single father. And it's frustrating too when I see people parade around adultery and they don't care, because they're just like, girl, you crazy. I'm not going to sit up here and follow God and wait like you. I'm going to go out and get mine. So now you sleeping with somebody's husband. And all 5 of them one day will be grown people watching after their mother. That's sad. And when Jesus come back, I'm trying to tell you some real stuff. It's going to be a lot of dudes that's going like, what are you going to say? What are you going to say? I know sometimes I want to be like, Lord, I said, if it weren't for you, Father, I'm trying to tell you, But this is all for you, God, because if it wasn't for you, first of all, I love you and fear you at the same time. That's the reason why I ain't jumping out there. But this is not like a, this is not like a, I love my husband so much, so I'm just going to, for the remainder of my life, be celibate and not date and not, and then again, like I said, I am raising my baby too, so I can't be having a random person around her that's not her father. It's easy for me to explain to her that's your dad versus me to explain this is mama's friend. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't fit right with me. And if that's not the right way, then I don't want any other way. Because I see a lot of you chicks jumping out of the frying pan and you're landing right into the fire. And I don't want that. But I'm not going to lie, ladies and gentlemen. It was frustrating. It is sometimes frustrating. It was frustrating. And when I saw her face lit up and she saw that video, and just as sweet as she was, it was just like, wow. And everything was cool. But today I was thinking like, Dad, she about to be 7. You add 7 more years on top of that, she 14. 7 more years on top of that, she 21. It's like, I'm gonna be, I'm, you get, I can understand why some people get frustrated with their significant others that was not there to help raise their children. And that's your children, your child too. Wouldn't it, the birthdays to, hey, can I speak to my daughter on the phone? I would have been happy to be like, here, your dad wants to speak to you. Not one time. Not one time. And so when I was listening to this runaway wife thing, they were saying that you can't, you think that you can make somebody feel bad. You gonna tap them. Do you feel bad for putting us out? Do you feel bad for not being there for your child? Do you feel bad that it was nights that I cried and I stayed up when she had a fever and I didn't know what to do? Do you feel bad that I'm put away? He's probably over there playing video games like, heck no, I don't. And so, when people say, what you going to do when he come back around? I honestly look at them like a cartoon character. I would be in shock. Now, I probably could have put some money on it and lost 3 days after he left, a year after he left, maybe even 3 years. But now, please, my money can go to the poor. I'm not about to sit up here and be gambling. Sorry, y'all. I didn't get lost. Sorry. Lord, forgive me. Look. Because you know what? When I was sitting up there and I was talking like that earlier, and I was, thinking this to myself, the Lord remind me, and a lot of people don't think that Jesus is going to come back. Yet you still have to be on your guard, and you still have to be ready. You still have to make sure that your lamp is, filled with oil. And I was like, that's true, Lord. But it's just that all I can say to the men out there, I can't speak for the one that I married because he's already made his decision. But for the men out there who put away your wife and you walked away and you don't care for whatever reason it is, and you think that God is not going to walk away from you, I got news for you. He will. Like, we serve a God where he says he hateth putteth away. And I don't think any of my videos would ever be reaching to any man who turned his back on his family. Because I'll be the first to tell you that you need to repent. You need to apologize at least. And I feel that when a person doesn't apologize or acknowledge that they have hurt you, that they have done something really wrong to you, that is a person who they haven't repented, because they don't feel that they did anything wrong. When the person doesn't care that you're sitting up here raising all of their children, knowing that you're the weaker vessel, they have not repented. They're not saved. Because here I am, and I could have went into the world, but again, when God snatched me, there ain't no way in heck I'm going to go out here and do something crazy like that. But do you understand? Like, a lot of people, they look at me in disbelief, and they always say, "Well, where's your husband?" I always get the same question. "Well, where's your husband at?" I guess he at home. Well, are you legally married? Like, as if because it's on paper, that means that it's severed, the one flesh thing. And I say, yeah, on paper, my husband did give me a bill of divorce. So you never gonna date nobody else? How could I? Do you want to get snatched by God too? Like, how can I date when God told me I can't when he's still alive? And I'll be honest with you, I'm not even upset about that, because the pickings out here is absolutely absurd and horrible. I feel sorry for some of you single women out there, and men, because you really do got to search for a wife now. You got to get a flashlight, a black light. You got to get gloves. You literally have to get garden tools and like pick all of these weeds up and burn them, so you can figure out where the good seeds and the good soil, where the good flowers are, because y'all dealing with a lot of chaos out here. But the men don't know what they want to be these days, and neither do the women. They've been so insensitive. They've been so insensitive. But yeah, that's all I have to say. But her reaction when she was like, "Oh my goodness." She said she gonna say cool. I said, "Oh." She gonna say cool. I thought that was very sweet. So which one was your real husband? The first one? So you see, I'm married and divorced twice. Both remarried another. His probably. So your first husband is your real husband. And the second one you were committing adultery with? Yes, 20 years ago. You know what's crazy? I was talking to one of my friends yesterday, and I was telling her, my 10-year anniversary had passed. It would have been 10 years since I had got married. That would have been 10 years. And she told me it would have been, did she say 26? It would have been 26 for her. I was like, dang. And she got married again and divorced. She tried to make the second one count, but I was like, how long have you been married? How long was you married to your husband, the first one? That's the real one. Man, people don't think that, people don't believe in love anymore. I swear they don't. They don't believe in the genuine, the beginning of time this is the person that I've been with since my youth anymore. You know, I mean, I'm sure it's a lot of people that do, and now people are really longing that. But the reason why they're not getting it is because they don't believe in marriage anymore. They don't even think it's permanent. Anyway, I mean, but sometimes, like I said, sometimes it just frustrates me because you're just like, you frustrated. And he said, Mona, why are you so frustrated? Because I didn't get my apology, that's why. I never got my apology. He never said he's sorry. I like Mo. Everybody got their apology. Even her husband came back and he could barely even give you two words in a sentence. When my friend told, I'll never forget when we would go out with her years ago. My husband couldn't stand going out because he felt like he was always babysitting her husband because he had a mental issue. But I'm like, he ain't that daggone dumb that he came looking for his wife. And I looked over her and then I'm like, you what? Wait a minute. She said, girl, guess who called me? Who? My husband. What? He called you after all these years? That's good. Yeah, he said he's sorry and he actually came and dropped me off. What? And I'm like, and I've been over this giant faithful. I've been over here like, and it is what it is. And I'm like, I didn't get my apology. And I know y'all like Mona. Please step in line. It's been 30 years for me. And I'm like, I'm sorry because sometimes I feel like, it's been how many years, girl? Girl, it's been 30. And some of y'all like Mona, my wife put me away. And, it's been a long time for me too. Sometimes that one apology, but then I be thinking too, like, this dude must cannot stand me so much that he's probably like, you ain't never gonna get your apology. You can keep waiting for another 50 years because I'm gonna keep doing me. And I just be like, look, you see this, Lord? You see this? But God knows my heart. God knows my heart. God knows the heart of the wicked too. And then he knows what's going on. He knows what's best. He knows when this is not the right time. He knows. It's just that, I just really, sometimes, and I'm just being very honest with y'all. I just had this my 10-year anniversary, and it's just like sometimes I just want to be like Jesus, like, this ain't fair. And I guess Jesus is the wrong person to say that to, when we know that he went to the cross for our sins. And people mistreated him. And when we think about how our significant others did us, it's not even any comparison. And he said, forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. So, it's stuff like that I be kind of like going back and forth with. But at the end of the day, in all things acknowledge God. Lean not to your own understanding, but in all ways acknowledge him. So sometimes it could be a reason for everything. But I'm not going to be stupid as to not see that as I'm going through my walk, living my life single, that getting gray hair, getting up there, my nieces and nephews, they basically late teenagers in their 20s, and my daughter's getting older and her dad is missing that, and he may not ever come around to see her. And I have to just accept the simple fact that there were great attributes in our marriage, such as I got my beautiful baby girl, and I learned about marriage, and I learned to trust God more than anything. So at the end, I can honestly say I did win. You know, I have peaceful days, more peace than turmoil. No, nothing new is under the sun. Nothing new is under the sun. And then sometimes too, I think like some people are embarrassed that they don't come around because they know they did you wrong, so they may not. They'd be like, man, I ain't going around that person. That person, I feel too ashamed to even go around this person because of what I did. I feel too ashamed to go around my children because because of what I did. You know, some people think that there's time too. Some people feel like, oh, I'll make a trip next week, and um, you know, I'll go around them. And some people just don't even realize that you've been saying that for the last 5 years, and 5 years have passed by. But anyway, I just wanted to get that off my chest. Her reaction, and I just got a little frustrated. Like, I got a little frustrated. Like, you really not gonna, you know, but whatever. Let people be and let people be. I just feel like I don't ever want to be bitter. Not bitter, but I don't ever want to be like my heart to be, you know, of stone. Because I just feel like if my once my daughter turn a certain age, and if her father is not there or didn't even initiate to be around, to come around, I don't want my heart to be like my mother's heart. But even in the sense of that, my father was still coming around though. So even when we were at cookouts and stuff like that, my mother and my father was there. He saw his children and he was there. But my mother had to witness my father bringing another set of children around. And it took a lot, you know. But at the end, you know, she was there. I just, I don't want to be that. I don't want to be that. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. Oh, 5, 7, 9, and 11. Oh, from 5, 7, 9, and 11, they're gonna get older. They're gonna get older. I don't know what it is that men can do stuff like that. I don't know. I don't know how. I don't know. I don't know how it is to up and leave your family, up and disrespect your mother. I have a friend. She's much older than me, and she was saying how she went to ask her son for something, and her son basically, well, you know, he gave her all his excuses, but she raised him, and I said, "Dang, you know, no honoring in the parents, and they sure not honoring their children these days. They think child support is going to do something, you know, and I don't even want to go there. I don't even want to go there. I don't even want to go there. Honestly, I just don't want to go there. But anywho, thing showed up again. Yeah, I don't even want to go there. You get it. You get it. Some people just don't care. And then you ask yourself this question: did I make a mistake when I married you? Then I'd be like, no, because I got my baby. Did I make a mistake? And I'm like, nah, I didn't make no mistake. And let me tell you why. Because look at all of these folks out here that's claiming they made mistakes. It's a whole bunch of them, ain't it? But that's what people think. So anyway, I really do hope that he'll muster up some type of whatever and try to even incline about his daughter. She's so, well, at least while she's still young, to be like, because I just really feel like once she gets a certain age and once she puts two and two together, the reality is, so you say I could have had my father. My father could have been in my life, but he chose not to. And I don't want to tell her that. I don't want to tell her that. But I'm not going to lie. It did have me a little frustrated. Had me a little frustrated. But now I'm okay now. Because just like the lady said, somebody said, well, why don't you go knock on the door? Why don't you reach out? And I'm like, please, there ain't no way. First of all, in certain states, there's no way I'm going to knock on somebody's door and they don't want to see you, don't want to be bothered. I'm not about to sit up there and go up there and put myself in a situation where somebody can, no. And it's almost like as if honestly, I don't even, it's just like whatever. It is what it is. When somebody musters up enough courage to just say what they did. I know me personally, when I do things wrong to people, if I did something wrong and I've done wrong things before, I am woman enough and I have much courage to apologize. I'm woman enough to say, I'm sorry. I will go and make amends and make things right. And you know why I do that? I do that because I don't want that on my conscience. It makes me sleep good at night when I ask somebody for forgiveness. It makes me feel good. When before my father went out, before he passed away, I made it a point, because years ago, me and my dad used to get into it, but I made it a point not to let the sun go down without apologizing. I wouldn't even go to bed until I spoke to my father and said, look, Dad, I love you. You my father. And I apologize. I love you. Because the last thing you want to do is when something happens, you don't want to be the last thing that you did to somebody. God makes you feel what you did to them. And that's why he said, vengeance is mine. That's why I don't understand it. I don't understand it. And I'm going to say this too. And I really believe this. My father-in-law, he did not want um, my husband to marry me. And even now, I feel like he watches him or check up on him to make sure he's not feeling the ouch about, what he did to his own family. There's certain people that can be in your husband or your wife life, and you wonder why these people don't come around, and why they don't apologize, why they why they're being pulled away from you, because it's somebody in their life that's trying to tell them don't do it, or trying to keep them away, or trying to keep them occupied while their heart is feeling some type of way. And for the longest time, and I said this before, for the longest time, it wasn't even really so much that I was upset with my husband. I was more upset with his father. I was really upset with his father. But it is what it is. Yeah, toxic contribute. That's like I was listening to this radio show, it was somewhere on YouTube, when the lady called in and she was really upset because the man that she had been talking to for 3 years, who promised her for 3 years that he was going to leave his wife, and he was going to go back to him. He was going to leave his wife for her, but he decided that he wanted to stay with his wife. And she got so upset, and she was like, I'm hurt. You were supposed to leave her. So she want to expose him. She wants to do this. She wants to show how bad she hurt. And I'm like, you was a contributor. You were that toxic contributor in his life that had him beefing with his wife because you was sitting up here laying with the man when he's married. Mother-in-laws too. I see mother-in-laws that really despise their daughter-in-laws. They hate them. Sister-in-laws, sisters too, can't stand their sister-in-laws. Friends can't stand their friend's wife. But to influence another man to drive away his family, that is a control that I don't think I would ever understand. Because you could not pay me to do anything like that. You couldn't even approach me to do anything like that. You couldn't. But there's some people out here where they don't care. They don't care. So anyway, I just wanted to share that. Because sooner or later, I don't know. It's only going to be so much that I can say about this type of stuff. Because again, I've learned to deal with it. It's just that now it's trickling down. It's affecting my daughter. And she's still young, so it's affecting her in a way where she's just like, she out of sight, out of mind. She couldn't tell the difference because her dad is not there. And when she sees, oh, that's my dad. Oh, cool. She's still like, okay, but it's going to click one day. Why ain't he here? Where is he? It's going to click one day. She's going to be like, where did he go? And when she realized he's not in heaven with Jesus, she gonna be like, so why isn't he around? And and what I don't, it's one thing that people can take things out on me, but to not take anything out on my daughter. Not saying that he would, but whatever. So it is what it is. It is what it is. They may come around, they may not. But I do know this though, is that some people they're like, oh, what are you gonna do when that person does? I'm like, again, like I said years ago, I would have been like, yes, he's coming around. I know he is. I just know. Looking out the window, come on, babe. I know you can make it home. I know you can. Come on. I know you can do this. I know you would not leave me like this. Reality stuck in real quick. Oh yes, he can, hon. And he did, boo. And then the big reality was like, and you still can't get remarried. So what you gonna do? You can sit here, you can cry, you can get bitter, or you can live. He is, and he protects the widows. God said he'll never leave you nor forsake you. That's why I love him so much. Look, sometimes I could sit and I be thinking how God is so good to me, and I just cry like, Lord, I'm so grateful that you're not a human. I'm so grateful that you sent Jesus Christ, who came in the form of a human, and he was more perfect than anyone. I'm so grateful. And sometimes, like, you're going to deal with your days where you're just going to be, you're going to have those days where you just like, you're good, and you're going to have those other days where you just like, man, this is not cool. This is one of those days I had like, this ain't cool. But that's okay. This ain't cool. Anyway, y'all, and I just had to, I really have to, really to ask us a little bit, Father, what is it that you want me to do? That you want me to do? See, this thing is dangerous. This thing ain't supposed to come out like this. Anyway, yeah, so that's pretty much it. But she was like, she said, that's cool. That's real cool. That was her words to describe her father. That's cool. Her eyebrows look like little McDonald's signs. Like her eyebrows went up. Like, really? I'm like, yeah, that's your dad. You look just like your dad. She was like, that's cool. Kids don't, it was just a sweetness. And I was just thinking, like, I can't believe you missing all of this. I can't believe you let somebody drive you to miss all of this. I still can't believe you ain't apologized. I still can't believe it's 7 years. Let me stop it. But anyway, y'all, keep praying for him. I'm going to keep praying. I'm going to just, I'm just praying that maybe her dad one day, when first he got to get right with God. But, when he muster up some courage to say, can I speak to my daughter, please? I would be like, you sure can, and I be hearing crazy things like my brother, he's dealing with a woman where she's not even allowing him to speak and see his son. She gonna ask my brother. They not married. She got a husband. She gonna ask my brother, can we have another baby? Because I don't want to have two different babies from two different fathers. I can't believe how trifling women can be out here. Can't believe it. But they are. Men are too. So yes, we're going to continue on praying for these people. And pray that God give you encouragement and not frustration, because you can get really frustrated. You can get really frustrated with being, how can I say, without somebody really saying I'm sorry. Somebody really walking away and thinking you deserved it. And your children having to not understand or ask questions later on. You know what I'm saying? But this story is just too familiar, though. It's nothing new is under the sun. Nothing new is under the sun. Anyway, y'all have a blessed night tonight.